It is that time again to check out the weekly candles for our favorite Bitcoin miners. We are also, since it is a special week this week, we are also going to take a look at the monthly candles because the monthly candles for June are now done. Starting Monday, it is going to be July. So we'll take a look at both of those. So anyways, let's start with CleanSpark here. So CleanSpark, you can see we are currently on the weekly trading beneath the 20-week SMA. Let me ensure that is in fact the 20-week and not like the 15 or something. It is the 13. Let me fix that. All right. On CleanSpark here, you can see we're trading solidly beneath the 20-week moving average as well as the 5-week moving average. So there's not really much down below us for the averages until we get all the way down to $10.81 where the 50 is waiting for us. Now, I don't necessarily think we're going to get there. That's way down there. That'd be such a dramatic drop off from where we currently are. That'd be huge. We are a little bit precariously placed here. We do have a bit of a shelf right at like this $15 range here on this. If we were to break beneath that solidly, not like these wicks, but like actually close beneath it, then we'd be having a bad time. That's when I'd start saying, hey, this looks bad. You can see same with I got it on my drawings. Here's the red line. We close beneath the red line. We could come to the bottom of this range here, which is this descending channel that we've been in for quite some time here. We kind of got stuck in the top half of it, but we could come to the bottom half of it again, and that would have us meet the 50 and 200-day moving average down at $10 if we went all the way to the bottom of it, which we haven't done since April 15th. And I mean, you could say we're now in this ascending channel over here now. You could say, yeah, no, we're actually in this channel now, and we're at the bottom of that channel, which is true. But if we lose it and we go beneath it and we lose the 15, like if we lose $15, this is acting as a shelf holding us up. This is major, major support. If we lose that, it's going to be dramatic. So just keep that in mind. I don't think it's going to happen. Of course, none of this is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I will disclose that I do hold CleanSpark. I do hold quite a lot of CleanSpark, actually. So that would be pretty dramatic for me as well. Anyways, that's the weekly. Let's take a look at the monthly. How is the monthly looking on this thing? The monthly is a doji, printed a doji for the monthly. Now, on the monthly, I'm still pretty excited about this because this is a big cup. This is the Giga Cup. We're returning to the Giga Cup. We have this perfect little handle here. We break above this descending channel here. We get above this one right here. Let me delete all the other ones so we can just see the one that we want to get above. Can I? Can I get that? Thank you. Let me get rid of this thing too. Okay, we get above this line here, which right now that price for next week is going to be $17.87. If we can get above $17.87 and close above it, preferably $18. If we can close above it next month, I think this cup is going to start coming through. And when this cup comes through, oh boy, that's going to be quite the move. I mean, honestly, this cup, the end of the move on this cup is up here at $40. So that's going to be dramatic. It's going to be just like back here. Here's another one. This is exactly that same example right here. You have that cup, handle, launch. Okay, and it did it just in that very next month. So we're going to be watching the weekly and the daily for this big old mega candle here. That was 166% in 1 month. We're looking for that. When this thing breaks, that is what we're looking for. Let me get rid of that. This is my handle. I'm waiting for it to get over and close over that $18. When it does, I'm looking for it to move upwards of what did it move? It went. Actually, let me draw. Let me do a drawing. Let me do a drawing. So it started here. It went as high as here. And how long was this candle? It was even longer than that. Well, actually, it's from the brim. Yeah, it was from the top of the brim all the way to the top of that candle. So let's see this one. So we're going to go from here, starting at this white line to the brim. There it is. And then we measure from the top here. Yeah, it takes us up into the 40s. So this is a huge cup and handle. Now, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen. That does not mean that. It just means that it's done big cup and handles like this before. It is currently forming one, and this one is huge. And if it does take off, it could take off up to 40. I mean, this cup here, that was just that one candle. The candle afterwards went all the way up to $42 from the base of the handle down here at 646, but like the brim was at $15, and it went all the way up to $42 off of that. Our brim here now is at about $23, $24. We could, I mean, this could slingshot it that second week. That blow off top could end up taking us all the way up into the 50s, potentially off of this cup and handle here. And honestly, this is not that concerning. We had a doji last month, a doji this month. It's in indecision. A lot of these big wicks are due to the ATMs that keep rolling through. I think as soon as those ATMs are done, I think we're going to see some pretty big dramatic action out of this price action on CleanSpark. So that's why I'm watching this close right now. All right, let's go back down to the weekly and move on to the next one. Let's take a look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms weekly down 12.5%. We are right on support. We're on the 200-week moving average at $2. I mean, we hit it at 250. We hit it at 250. Well, 250 what? 251. We've got very, very close to it. I don't see us going much lower than that. If we do, we will likely get caught by the 20-week moving average, which is at 236. And then if for some reason we go below that, the 50-week moving average is down at 197. I don't dislike this move at all. We had a bit of a blow off top. Let me turn off my drawings. We had a bit of a blow off top last month. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, yeah, last week, excuse me. We had a bit of a blow off top last week that led to the weakness now that we saw. This is pretty much the base here for that move, though, which would be giving back the majority of this large candle here from June 10th. And we are resting on the 200-week moving average. And I don't necessarily, I mean, it could be like that here, right, where we dip just below it for a week or two and then come right back up above it. So if we dip below it, I think the 20-week will likely catch us at 235. I don't think we're going sub 230 again. And then we'll start curling back up on that. Now, I do want to see strength. I do want to see what next week tells me. Like if price does get below the 20-week moving average, then of course we're going to the 50-week moving average. But the thesis right now is that the 20-week will likely catch us if we go beneath the 200, and we'll start trailing sideways and then back up again. Let's take a look at the monthly. How's the monthly doing on Bitfarms? The monthly was good. We had a plus 14% month. I don't love that huge wick on top. That's not great, but could be worse. We are trading above all the present SMAs for the monthly. We're above the 20 by a mile. We're above the 50. As long as we can hold above 232, as long as we're holding above 232, which if you remember on the weekly was the 20-week moving average, well, 236. But as long as we can hold above 232, this is looking really good, actually. We could end up turning the 50-month SMA into support and ride it up until we get an explosive move. Now you'll notice that there is also a big old cup and handle over here. The cup got a handle coming through here. Now there you can say that this was right here, a smaller cup and handle was here, and then we got a larger one here. You could say that based on how it looks, and I would probably say, yeah, there was a cup and handle that played out down here, and there was that handle, and then now we're getting an even larger one coming through here. Let me see, make sure that it didn't get nullified in some of that. A little bit. It came beneath the midline of it, but it never closed once, but it came immediately back up again. Go ahead and say that wasn't broken. So we get above, and we might already be trading. Yeah, we are. We're trading above the handle on this thing. Okay, this is where things get exciting. So we're trading just barely above this handle. If we can stay out of this big old descending channel here, if we can stay above this descending channel here, this could come out. This could play out. And if it was to play out, we would see a move. Let's have a look, see what would happen. This would go to, could potentially, here we go. That could potentially take us up to like $6, $7 for Bitfarms. So that's pretty cool. I like this one. Now there's a lot of drama going on, a lot of outside factors here, outside of technicals that could completely undo this thing. So I wouldn't get too excited saying, oh, it's definitely going to happen. No, that's not what I'm saying, and that's not what anyone should be saying. There's a lot of drama around this stock right now. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors at play that could be holding it down. So some bad news could really undo all of this. So be vigilant, pay attention to the charts, see what they're telling you. The 1 month is telling me that we are currently halfway bullish, kind of, not really, because like this candle doesn't look great, so we're not going to just rocket out of this thing. That's what this monthly candle is telling me. The weekly is telling me that we are printing inverted hammers, and we are getting squashed down to the 200-week moving average, where we may get stuck in between the 220-week moving average for a while here before we get out of this thing. I think we're going to need to see an end of the drama, and then Bitfarms will be kind of unleashed. Let's take a look at Riot. What's going on with Riot on the weekly? The weekly for Riot is a terrible candle. Look at that ugly little doji with a bigger wick on top than on bottom. That is not good. I would really like to see Riot get it together. I've got some money on Riot. I would like to see it get it together. Again, full disclosure, I have CleanSpark, I have Bitfarms, I have Riot, I have Bit Digital, I have some Cifr. I also have been dabbling with the Bitcoin 2x futures. Um, uh, Ticker BitX, been playing with that too. That's been a bit of a disaster, but I get long dated stuff on that, so I'm not too concerned. Anyways, we're below all the moving averages on the weekly. We are in a bit of a falling wedge right now. Like you can see it when I draw it here, here, yeah, something like that. Bit of a falling wedge, like this. Okay, bit of a falling wedge there. Not great though. It's not really reacting to it. It's not really getting. It's got to get above this 50-week moving average. We have to get above $11.88, or 97. We have to get above $11.97 before Riot is really bullish. Now, I don't hate everything about this. I don't. I don't hate everything about this. This is a good like accumulation zone here. You can see it did it back here from August until November last year, and then took off out of that. That could be what we're looking at right here, where we're just kind of accumulating, 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 and then at some point it's going to just absolutely rip. That could be what's going on here with Riot, but I don't like where it's currently sitting. Last time it came down to the 50-week moving average, stopped, and then went back up. This time we sliced right through it like it was nothing. And I don't really see, is there a good mark back here from after the have? No, no, we didn't cross below it last time after the halving in 2020. So this is not great. I don't like where it is. Riot needs to get some stuff in, needs to get itself in order, to be honest. 1 month candle is looking not good either. Not good either. We need to get above 1048 on the monthly. On the monthly, we got to get above 1048 for this to look good. Now, on the monthly, this is actually kind of scary. On the monthly, I'm seeing a double top. Top here, top here. Midline is right at 854. We get below 854 and close below 854, we could revisit the bottom here at $3 on Riot. Riot needs to stop messing around and get that exahash online and start mining more Bitcoin. They need to do that. They need to stop screwing around with companies that aren't for sale and focus on their own house. This is not the time for them to be getting involved in controversial nonsense. They need to do their own thing. They have a huge facility that everyone was excited about that's going to be bringing online dozens and dozens of exahash for them. They need to focus on that instead of this drama that they are stirring up with another company. Their chart looks disgusting, and they need to fix that. All right, moving on. Sorry for the rant, but Riot's been pissing me off lately, and the stock chart is showing that that my anger is a bit deserved with how the price action has been on this stock lately. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at Mara. Mara for the week. Mara is up 3%. That's nice. That's nice. I like Mara here. Look at this here. All right, let's turn off some of these drawings. Let's just get, so we are above the 50, oh no, the 200-week moving average. We're stuck just below the 20-week moving average. We've been getting stuck beneath that for a little over a month now. I think that's going to be the line in the sand. Once we get above $20.37 and we hold above that for a week or two, I think that opens us up to the higher range of the higher 20s and low 30s again, maybe even to the high 30s and low 40s on this thing. I do like that we had this ascending channel here, and we are now doing a descending channel now for a little while. Once we break this, we go back up, and now this could end up being something like an Elliott wave, right? So this would be wave 1, 2, 3 would go up here. 4 would be something like this, as long as it doesn't touch that yellow line. Sorry, I went a little too far. And then 5 would take us really high, something like that. Now, it's probably going to happen a lot faster than that because Bitcoin miners happen a lot faster than that, but it's going to be something like this. These little blue doodles are what I'm looking for on Marathon. I want it to break this line, go up somewhere like 26, 27, come back down to like 24, and then rocket on up into the 30s from there. That's what I want to see from Mara. and the chart is looking like it wants to comply with that sort of thing. If you notice, Mara's been real quiet for a while. There's something coming up for Riot, for Mara, excuse me, for Mara, and I like this chart. I like how it came up and is consolidating. And once it breaks this line, I think we could find ourselves pretty quickly at the top of this ascending channel here, which is all the way up at $30 right now, up in the 30s. So that is really, really. I don't dislike this chart. It's a little sneaky, but I like it. Let's take a look at the 1 month for Mara. It is up 1.67%. It's not the best, but it is a doji. It's a doji. We're holding above the 50-month moving average. We're above that. We're just below the 5-month moving average, which is really the only thing in our way right now, which is at $20.78. Then we'd be trading above all the moving averages on the monthly. Let me make sure. No, yeah, that would be all the ones that are present. And honestly, we get above that. We are following a nice little trend line from here. Let me see. Yeah, I already have it. We're following this trend line here. Lowest we could likely go now is going to be 1464 at like the low end and the low end. Don't see that happening. I see us getting back up into the top half of this ascending channel here on the monthly. I see us making a nice big old wick like this in the next couple of months. Maybe up to 6 months at the latest, like sometime before the end of the year. I see us making a nice little wick here, but I think it's going to be higher. I think it's going to be in the 40s, to be honest. And that's what's going on with the Mara chart right now. Let's move on to the weekly for Bit How's Bit doing? Had an amazing week with that announcement. I'm actually going to come out with a video for Bit tomorrow. It is still wildly undervalued. So we're going to talk about that for in our video tomorrow for Bit But like, look at this weekly candle. This thing looks great. So it broke out. It had an ascending channel that went a little bit flat. You could call this a flag, and then broke out. This does look a little bit like a blow off top here. We might see ourselves trail sideways for a couple of weeks until the next announcement comes out, which might be earnings, which earnings are, according to this calendar, earnings are going to be August 15th. I don't trust this calendar. I'll wait until Digital announces it before I say anything. I've learned my lesson last earnings season about trusting TradingView to give me proper dates and numbers for stuff. So we're going to wait for it to come from the companies themselves. Anyways, Bit has been a bit on a wild ride since January. It's kind of came up, went down really hard, and then now it's on its way up really hard. It is looking very interesting, actually. So we have this descending channel and met by this really tight action on this ascending channel, and then a breakout. And this breakout is looking good. We're above all the moving averages except the 200, which honestly, I think sometime in this summer cycle that we come up and hit the 200-week moving average, which is currently up at $5.12. And honestly, I think we wick above it like we did back here. Like if we get above this for like a day or two, I'd be looking to take some profit for the cycle and then load back up again sometime in the September, late September, maybe October a little bit. But I do think we'll wick above this thing, maybe come up towards the $6 for a day or two, and then collapse back down to like $3.50, $4 again from there. But the weekly looks good. This is what it does. Like it comes down, it rests for a while at these lows, and then takes off explosively, comes back down, rests at the lows, takes off explosively. We've been waiting down here at the lows for a while. We did one explosive week. Yeah, this thing can do 4, 5, 6 in a row. So keep your eyes open on this thing. Pay attention. This one could sneak up on you. So let's take a look at the monthly. Monthly is not too bad either. Again, I don't love the wick on top here, how it went all the way up to 370 and closed at 318. I don't love that. Now the monthly 50 is down up at 511, just like the 200 week is up at that area. And I do think that we will get above it a little bit at some point. The monthly is not looking bad. I mean, it's just, it came down, it based, and now we're breaking out of this descending area right here, like this little area of descending channel right there. We're breaking out of it now. If we can stay above it, which honestly, we just need to stay above $3 to, not even $3. We need to stay above $2.50 to stay above this descending channel. So that's not going to be too challenging for Bit right now, I don't think, especially with all that good news coming through. I don't know what this box is for. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, so this channel, I don't need this channel anymore. Honestly, 197, I don't really need this line anymore. This line down here, I don't need that anymore. The only one I'm really concerned about right now is, honestly, the only one I'm really concerned about right now, get rid of this, is $3. I want to stay above $3. All I really want to know is, am I above or below $3 right now? That's it. Deleting. I'm getting this chart clean. All right, yeah, that's great. Now this one, this had a bit of a cup and handle forming. failed to get any higher off that. I mean, honestly, when this big red candle came through, that was kind of it. This one too, this kind of had that done for. We really want to see, let me draw like a huge, I mean, no, I can't even draw that. This thing's doing some ridiculous stuff, honestly, because if you come here, it's like doing like a giant megaphone. And if it came to the top of that megaphone here, I mean, I don't think it'll do it next month, but if it did it next month, it'd be $5.71. Like we've done it right. We had 2 touches on top and 2 touches on the bottom. Third touch on the top might be the trick to take us even higher. I don't know, but you know what? I'll leave those 2 lines on the chart there, like this megaphone looking thing going on here. And it's made megaphones before, so I'm not like just pulling that out of nowhere. Bit Digital does like to do a megaphone. Anyways, that is Bit Digital. It's in a nice place right now. It's looking like poised to do one of these big old blue candles that it likes to do. That's like 60, 70% after, you know, a candle that's like 20, 30%. Like we got a 28% candle. So we had 21% last month in May, 28% this month. Is next month going to be the 60% candle that it likes to print after getting a bit of a run up? Like it's done it before, right? 22% in 2023 for March, and then 28% for April, and then May was a 71% candle followed by another 20% candle and a 10% afterwards. And then in November, we had a 22% candle followed up by a 63% candle. Is July the month that gives us a 60% candle on Bit Digital? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it in the next video. So let's move on to the next one. Let's take a look at Cifr. How's Cifr? This is the monthly. I want to see the weekly first. Let's take a look at the weekly for Cifr. We got a really wicked doji that came through on the weekly. Remember, I mentioned some blow off tops going on Cifr last week. I pointed that out, and that was near like, or 2 weeks ago, maybe? I can't remember. But I pointed it out. It came down from it. It is coming down dramatically from it. Let me turn off the drawings here. I don't want to see those right now, but we are not out of bullish trend here. We're still respecting the 20-week moving average, which is at $1. What is this? This is warrants. All right, that's better. There's the blow off top. Okay, anyways, we're still respecting the 20-week moving average here at $4, right? So as long as we hold above that or don't do anything other than a wick below it, which the 50 will catch us at 347. This is a really solid, this is a really solid uptrend that Cifr is in. It's really solid. It's sustainable. It's not in a big way. At some point, it's going to break out. And you'll know it's broken out when it gets, let's just draw. Yeah, there's the line. Okay, this green line right here, when it gets above it, we'll know that it's going to do a big old breakout, probably go back up to like $10. Okay, we'll know that's happening at that point. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. Great. Okay, so yeah, and the 50-week moving average, this right here, this is that. Now that does look a little bit like a rising wedge, but it's got so far to play out. So we'll see if it does it or not. But if it gets above this line up here, yeah, we're having a good time. It's party time. I think that for now, as long as it stays above the 50-week moving average, which is at $3.47, I think we're doing good on Cifr, and it will continue to truck on up. Let's take a look at the monthly. How's the monthly doing? There's not as much for the monthly. Now the monthly, I don't love this candle. I really don't. This got a huge wick on top. Don't love that at all. I think we're probably in store for a little bit of sideways action on Cifr, perhaps. Unless we just get an absolute breakout. But I mean, I guess we've done it before. We had a huge wick on top that was followed up by a 50% month. That's possible. I guess, yeah, okay. I'm not too upset with it. We're above the 5, which is at $3.94. We need to stay above that. As long as we stay above that, we're still in this bullish trend here that is just kind of trucking on up, trucking on up. We got the 200 month down at 282. I think that's the lowest we could wick to. I don't think we'd stay there very long at all, though. I think if we got there, we would very likely find ourselves rocketing off of that thing. So yeah, this chart, it still looks good. It's quite volatile, but it still looks good. Still looks like it's trucking on up. Let's take a look at Iren. How's Iren doing? 1 week. All right, 1 week, Iren. We are right at the 5-week moving average. This is a bad place to be. Now, I don't like that it looks a little bit like a shooting star sort of thing here, where it's got that nice long wick on top and it's just a red body all the way down to the 5 where it stopped. If we get below the 5, we're going to have a bit of a rough time. I think we're going to come back down in between these 2 lines here, somewhere between $10.50 and $9, somewhere in that range. I know it's kind of a big range, but it's like hard to call that, especially when the 20-week moving average is all the way down at $7. So on the weekly, I think we could find ourselves getting between $10.50 and $9 in the next 2 weeks ish, and kind of like go sideways until the Q4 launch happens for Iren. Let's take a look at the monthly. How's the monthly playing out on this thing? The monthly, actually, that's a pretty cool monthly candle. We got came up, did a bit of this choppiness, created a pennant, and then just took off from that pennant. That is really good. Yeah, here I'll draw it out for you. So we had this ascending channel followed by a descending channel that went up and then formed a pennant right there. Just and then it went as soon as it broke this upper trend line for it. That was the descending trend line on the top. As soon as it broke that, it was just off to the races. That's pretty cool. Probably should have been paying closer attention to that and caught that myself, but I didn't. We are outside of this ascending channel here. This is done. This is done. We are away from everything on Iren. But honestly, it hasn't been around really long enough for us to say too much about that. If it's had some longer price history, maybe this would be closer, maybe be further away. So honestly, I think we need to stick maybe to the weekly or 2 weekly, probably closer to the weekly. I think the weekly is going to tell us more that we need to know about Iren than the monthly right now. So I'm thinking a revisit of this top right here. I'm thinking a revisit of the top of this wick here, which would be at $9.71. That's really what I'm looking for. So let me just, there we go. And I'm going to delete these two because really what I want to see is just a revisit of that top or get close to revisiting that top, maybe even like between 1035 and 967. I want to see it revisit that. And once it's done that, I will be looking forward to start going back up again. And hopefully it gets above $14.93. Otherwise, I'd be looking for a double top. Okay, let's move on to Core Z. Corz also needs to focus really, even the weekly is a bit too long of a candle to focus on it. It just absolutely took off over the last month. It is consolidating up here. This could be a flag that we're forming right now, but it's hard to say with so little candles in it. Let's move down to like a 3-day, see if that helps. But it helps a little bit. We see that we came down, we started coming up again. We failed to take that previous high. So this could end up looking a bit like a double top, just like what I was pointing out on Bitcoin in yesterday's video. Um, we need to hold above $8.31. As long as Core Z is above $8.31, it's relatively safe in terms of potential to move back up. As soon as it crosses below $8.31, we're very likely to drop dramatically, probably down to about that $6.10 range on Core Z. And that's all I've got for that right there. Let's take a look at Wulf now. How is Wulf doing? That is a 3-day candle. Let's go to a 1-week candle. It's been around long enough for me to use the weeklies. This is looking toppy. These two candles in a row, these are looking toppy. Don't like that. So we got long wicks on top, kind of short body one, long body the other. They both come down to the exact same level, which is 387, without really any upward movement there. This looks like a top. Wolf looks like it's topping. Yeah. Did we come back down? Yeah, we did come back down to test this. I don't know. We need to see it stay above 387. If it's above 387, it's looking bullish. As soon as it crosses that line below 387, which honestly, I think I need to make that a little bit lower. 383. As soon as we cross below that 383 level there, we're looking for a quick move down to 322, potentially even coming down to the 20-week moving average at 255, 254, excuse me. So I do want to see it hit the 5-week moving average, see how it interacts with that at 356. If it goes right through it, then we're going to hit 322 and probably go a little bit lower than 322, probably come down to the 20-week moving average, which is down at 254 for Wulf. That could happen because this was a huge move. Now, if it sustains, now it's only if it goes beneath 383. If it holds above 383 or goes sideways for a while, all of that changes. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see it go sideways or just stay above 383. Just stay above 383. The bullishness holds on and continues. I have my theory that I've mentioned about these ones, the non-hodl crew. I think they ran early, and I think they're going to cool off while the hodl crew tends to run now. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the miners that are holding Bitcoin. I'm expecting those to take a run now, and the ones that aren't holding Bitcoin, I think they had their summer run, and I think that they're going to start cooling off now until the next run. That's my theory. We'll see if it plays out. I mean, just look at that monthly candle. It was a 100% monthly candle. Are you telling me that wasn't the summer run? I think that might have been the summer run for Wulf in that respect. Now, honestly, above us on the monthly, this goes high 677, 675, maybe even up to $9 on Wulf. I mean, it might not be done. There might still be some gas in the tank here. We are above this zone here. Look at this. This zone right here. Right there. We're above that. And as long as we are above that, this is support this is historic support, and there's more. back here too. So yeah, there's support beneath it. So 383, it's got to hold above that 383 area. We got support in the back to hold us up. As long as it holds above that and it stays above that, the next move is going to be 676, maybe even $9. Or we might get in here and start flagging around. Like it might come up into this area here, right? Into this area here, and then start flagging around between it. And then eventually it'll break that and then take off higher. That's the expectation. But as long as it can hold above 383, the next move is going to be the 50-month moving average, which is all the way above almost $7. And if it can conquer that, it's going to take a stab at the 200-month moving average for Wulf. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. A lot of the miners are looking great, some not so good. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and have a profitable day.